Hey, welcome back to Crimes and Closets. This is Christy at my closet in St. Louis.
And this is Beth in my closet in North Carolina.
Happy Monday, Beth.
Happy Monday.
How's it going?
It's great. It's going great. CrimeCon was great.
Yes. And if you are a Patreon, then you will have heard our chit chat was all about CrimeCon. So
yeah,
go
on
back.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We saw all things CrimeCon, but we had a great time. Highly recommend all the things. It was amazing. It's the funnest thing that I think we personally have ever done, like podcast related.
Yeah, that wasn't just like a total go all out, like girls weekend, like, like party all weekend. I'm not saying we didn't do our share of it, but I'm just saying like it was like a fun thing to do outside of something like that.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. The hotel was amazing. It was all amazing. Anyway.
So much fun that we put a deposit on next year. So
yeah, we did. Woohoo! We're back at it again, and it's in September. So I did want to tell you a funny story that is a little bit CrimeCon related. So I flew home Sunday night. I don't know, my flight landed like 8:45, something like that. So my whole family came to pick me up.
Mm-hmm.
And which I knew that they were going to do that because they told me earlier, and I was like, that is kind of weird, 8:45 on a Sunday. Like, I'm surprised that my kids were like, yeah, we'll go to the airport and pick mom up.
Right.
But they did anyway. So I'm like, okay, great. I'll see you there. I can't wait, blah, 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 whatever. So I get there and I'm standing on the curb and I have a black Yukon. Like, that's what I drive. So that pulls up. And I was like, oh, they brought the Yukon, huh? Instead of like my husband's car. All the boys get out. They're dressed in all black and have on sunglasses. And they stand on the side of the car and like open the door for me. And then my daughter gets out and runs to me and asks me for my autograph. It was hilarious. They were totally acting like I was a big deal. And people were looking at me like, who is she? It was absolutely amazing. I love my husband and my kids because that was him. He's like, he thinks he's so funny.
He is.
He is funny, yeah. But I just thought it was so funny that he like orchestrated that whole thing. We laughed hysterically the entire way home. Like, it was so stinking funny and cute. I don't have a picture of it because I totally wasn't prepared.
Right.
And he couldn't break like character to pull his phone out and take a picture. Anyway, it was so funny.
That's really cute. That's really cute.
It was awesome. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that. My husband.
No, I mean, that's better than what it was better than my thought of like, oh, they were all coming to greet you because they're going to go get ice cream or something.
Nope. It was definitely the cherry on top of my CrimeCon weekend, though.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
mine was just getting home because I didn't have a flight until 10:45 that night.
Yeah, poor girl,
sitting in the airport watching documentaries.
Yeah, you should have come home with me. Like my son wanted you to.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, my highlight was when I was sitting because I like sat at one bar and then I was like, well, they're going to think I'm a lush. So let me go to a different bar.
You just spread it out.
So I sat at another one and the hostess was standing behind me and she goes, what are you watching? Because I love documentaries and I haven't seen whatever it is that you're watching. And this has been the highlight of my day.
What was it?
Well, what I was watching at the time was the Ashley Madison documentary. And then, but then I was like, she was a younger girl. And I was like, I think you'd really like Dancing with the Devil, the TikTok dancer one. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch that tonight.
Yeah. If you follow us on Instagram, I posted, I don't remember if it was my feed or whatever, which I did a great job, by the way. I just want to say that right now. I said I was going to do a good job, but I never do. But I actually did this time. I did a great job. Yes. But I posted at one point that we were laying in bed in the hotel watching a documentary. And that's what it was. It was the Dancing with the Devil TikTok one, which we actually finished, my husband and I, last night.
Oh, I was going to ask you if you did. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy.
It is crazy.
I want it to be longer.
I know.
Like, I felt like they rushed through that last episode.
100%. I feel like there's going to be more to come.
Oh yeah, maybe. I hope so. I hope so, because it's
like
great.
Maybe not another episode of that, but like a follow-up something, like, because I feel like they're starting to get things kind of rolling, sort of.
Right.
So
yeah, that guy's a kook.
Yeah. So
yep.
Well, I don't know. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything?
We have a Patreon.
We have a new... Yes.
Yep. Dana D, thank you very much. Welcome in over there.
Welcome, Dana.
Hope you enjoy all the new stuff and hearing about CrimeCon and all the things. We do lots of fun things.
Yes. Well, if that's it, then I've got quite a story for you, actually.
Okay.
This fine Monday morning in June.
It is a fine Monday morning, and I'm ready for it.
All right, then here we go. Okay, so this case is super sad to me. I know I preface stuff like this all the time, but and I think I was just explaining to you that as I was going through my list of suggestions, I decided to make sure that this one I got done in June because it is Pride Month, and this case involves a gay man who was also a drag queen.
Okay.
So I just thought it would be more appropriate to put it in that month. But anyway, Kristen H over on Instagram suggested it.
Thank you, Kristen.
Yes, thank you. This happened in the neighborhood that she grew up in.
Oh.
And so the murder weapon and other belongings were like at the end of the street that she lived on, or like close by. And her mom and her friends went out walking like every single morning, apparently still lives there.
Okay.
But on this day specifically, they had noticed that there was a bunch of police presence. And so they walked over to them to be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
And they were like, we are like guarding evidence from a crime.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so they started like looking into it, and then they realized what happened. So anyway, this is the story of Gary Brazon McMurtry.
Okay.
I have a hard time with that name.
Yeah, there's a lot of syllables.
Yes. Oh, and also real quickly before I start, I wanted to mention that I watched a show that I have never heard of before.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to ask if you've heard of it. It's called Tabloid, and it's hosted by Jerry Springer.
Oh my gosh. Never heard of it. Super here for it.
I mean, somewhat, because I'm honest. It's like, it's just like other crime shows, honestly, that are out there, but it's weird.
Jerry Springer is such a, sorry if you like him, but he's like a douche.
Well, he's like, well, yes, I know, that's agreed, but like, he's not really like, he's the host, but you see him like in the beginning and at the end.
Okay. Yeah, I
like,
cannot
you see
take
Lester
him seriously.
Holt. What? You know, I'm saying like,
oh, he's not on that show. Okay, gotcha.
No, I'm saying
it gave me a heart attack.
No, it's like Dateline, where you see Lester's, hey, goodbye. He's not part of it at all. It's
okay.
Sort of like that. I mean, he might be saying stuff, but like, you don't see him. Anyway, I'm not much of a fan of like Jerry Springer, not for any reason except that I just thought his show was ridiculous when it was on. But anyways, and I'm actually not a fan of the fact that this is the kind of show that I learned information about this case from.
Got it.
So
yeah, because it's called Tabloid, which already is like exploitative.
Yeah. And that's what they say in the beginning. They're like, these are cases that you would find in a tabloid. And it's like, well, no, we should just hear them in general. Like,
yeah.
So, but I did watch it and did gain a few extra things that I didn't learn from just reading articles. So anyway, it was helpful, but anyway. Okay. Also, another side note, sorry. At the back when some of this occurred, when all of this occurred, there were like no pronouns at the time, like, so we weren't saying like, what do you go by, whatever.
Yep.
Clearly they existed. Pronouns have always existed, but not in the sense that are used today. And so throughout this story, I kind of use he and she at different times.
Okay.
During it.
Just know that you're talking about Gary the whole time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I'll explain that too, but like, just know that I'm not doing it because I'm not like, I don't know if I'm wrong or right for doing that at this point. But at the time of this crime, this is how Gary was referred to interchangeably, honestly.
Okay.
So anyways, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful by going back and forth is really why I'm telling you.
Understood.
I'm calling this out.
You're not a disrespectful person anyway. So
no,
I got you.
No. So,
yeah.
Okay. So Gary was born on January 6th, 1966 in Utica, Ohio to Frank and Daisy McMurtry. Daisy. The two had 3 sons and 4 daughters.
Utica, that's a big family.
It is. And honestly, like, I only know that because there wasn't a whole lot of background information. And I found Frank's obituary and it said survived by, and that's the only reason I know any of that. Utica is a small town that is just like northeast of Columbus, Ohio. Mm-hmm. It has a population of about 2,000, so it's pretty small.
Yeah.
It's a lovely little small town. However, it may not have been lovely for an 11-year-old in 1978 who enjoyed riding his sister's bike, like pink bike.
Okay.
Yeah. He was different. Other kids saw it. It led to him being bullied and pushed around and made fun of. And, clearly that made Gary pretty sad. And it caused him to kind of start to try and find ways to mask how he was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at this point, maybe he was starting to experiment with like makeup and dressing up in different clothes, etc.
Mm-hmm.
He would eventually move to Columbus when he was older, an adult. And this is a bigger city that was more accepting of people like him and whatnot, had a community in it. So by 1987, he was one of the hottest drag queens in the area of Columbus.
Yes, Gary.
And he worked at a club called Columbus Eagle Club as the show director. And his stage name was Brazon.
Okay.
This is where I say when I refer to Brazon, I refer to she. And when he's not in character, he's Gary. Okay. All right. So we can't ask Gary which one he preferred, but
yeah, sadly. I figured that's where we were going here.
Yes. Okay. So Gary loved, oh my gosh, you're going to love this. Can you guess who he loved?
Dolly Parton. Oh, yes.
He did. He loved Dolly and would often work like as a Dolly impersonator.
Oh, I love this so much. Send me pictures immediately when we're done.
Here's the thing. I was going to say, I don't know that he necessarily like looked like her, but he would impersonate her like voice and like whatever, I guess. So anyway.
Okay.
He was funny. Everyone loved him. And Brazon, like both characters. He was sweet, kind, compassionate. He was always the loudest laugh in the room. And he had very close friends, and he loved on them, just always wanted to be around them. Yes.
Yeah.
He would have gatherings at his house all the time and just always wanted to have fun. Gary had 2 roommates, Brian Bass, who was also Brazon's hairdresser for the show. And it was stated that Brian was a wizard with wigs.
Nice. Okay.
Yes. His other roommate was Scott Cole. There's not a whole lot of information about there on Scott, just that it is known that he is the other roommate.
Okay.
I'm also assuming that both men were gay, but I do not know for sure about Scott. Brian, yes, because of the things that were stated about him, we are aware that he is gay. It is stated that there may have been a little bit of jealousy with Brian, and not because Brazon or Gary and Brian were dating, but because they were typically interested in the same men.
Oh, okay.
Yes. They had the same type. And so if Brazon was flirting with somebody at the club and Brian was backstage seeing it, he'd just kind of get all mad or whatever.
Okay.
So anyway, by 1994, Brazon was named Miss Gay Ohio America.
Okay.
She placed 2 times nationally in Miss Gay America, too.
Why have I never heard of this?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
In 1997, Brazon started the Gay People's Community Choice Awards, I believe just in the Columbus area. And this was an event where people would vote for their favorite bartenders, clubs, bookstores, whatever in that area. And this became an annual benefit event that helped raise funds for the local gay and AIDS charities. So Gary's doing a lot.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that still a thing? in Columbus?
I don't know because I was trying to look it up and I couldn't really see anything. So I'm wondering if it's gone out, but it would be sad if it did but he was a big part of it. And so I feel like once he was gone, maybe it was, I don't know if anybody took the torch from him essentially. But okay. So Brazon wanted to travel and tour all over and would go on to tour or perform in 36 different states. Brazon worked about 6 days a week, 3 nights at the Columbus Eagle, and then 3 nights at like other clubs throughout the city. After a few years, Brazon started making her show a little bit more risque.
Okay.
She added male strippers to the show, and one of the strippers is Michael Jennings. He is described to have a winning smile, nice body, and seems to be the favorite of everyone in the show. Michael's stage name is...
As in like Magic Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. But his stage name was Devon or Davon. I don't know. I don't remember how they pronounce it, but I think Devon. It is unknown if Michael claimed to be gay or not. People in the show that I watched seem to think no, but they don't know for sure, one way or the other. All of Brazon's friends said they never heard him say he was, but he did engage in sexual acts with men during those shows or after those shows. And I was led to believe that at times in the club, the shows could lead to those things happening, depending on how much money these people had.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying, a little bit more risque. Okay. So Michael was described as a no man. No, not a no man.
I was like, what's a no man?
He's a no man.
He's no man. No man.
Nomad. A nomad.
Okay.
So it's speculated that Michael did what he did because he needed the money. So it was like money was money to him and it didn't matter what. That's why they're saying we think he was gay, but he did these things. So
Okay.
So he was a nomad. He would crash on people's couches for like months at a time, then move on. He even did a stint at Gary and Brian and Scott's house as well.
Okay.
There had been a rumor, but nothing ever confirmed that Gary and Michael may have had some sort of relationship, but again, not confirmed. Eventually, would start to be hecklers in the crowd at the shows.
Hecklers?
And then, like people that were just kind of like, "What are you doing? This is gross." Kind of like
go somewhere else.
Like that's in my head. I'm thinking like, why are you there? Like,
if you don't like that kind of thing, what are you doing there?
Well, these are probably people that were like literally went there to taunt these people because they did not agree with the lifestyle and were just like, well, we're going to go and say stuff to them. So anyway, these hecklers became a problem and then they started to approach them even outside of the club. I mean, we all know that this exists out there in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Gary would become a bit scared at times, but nothing major happened that I'm aware of. I know his house was broken into at one point, but it didn't seem to have any link to these people and it for being because he's gay or anything like that.
Okay.
Nothing major, that is, until May 17th, 2002. The night before, on the 16th, they had a show. And after the show, Gary sat with a friend, shooting the breeze about the show and what was great and what wasn't great or whatever. And then around 2:45 a.m. on the 17th, Gary and Brian went home together.
Okay.
They set their alarms. They had an alarm in their house, checked to make sure all the doors were locked. Scott was out of town in Pennsylvania visiting his mother. So he wasn't there, which is probably why there's not a whole lot of information known about him. He was probably like, I just don't want anything to do with this.
Okay.
So at around 7 a.m., Brian was awakened by screaming. He could hear Gary yelling, like, stop, and then screaming some more. And then suddenly the screaming just stopped altogether. Brian threw his pants on, opened his bedroom door, where he was met with a man dressed all in black like a ninja.
Oh, no.
He had black mask on, black outfit, all the things. And he was holding a samurai sword.
So he legitimately looked like a ninja.
Literally, yes.
They're real people.
Mm-hmm, they are. Ninjas are real. This man attacked Brian by slashing his hand, and when he did that, he slashed off part of one or two of his fingers. I don't know, it was stated differently in different articles.
Oh my gosh.
This ninja then runs out of the home. And Brian could see Gary laying on the floor next to his bed in this fetal position with a large amount of blood surrounding him.
Okay.
Brian ran out behind this ninja and flagged down a neighbor to call police. Police arrive and find that someone had completely shattered the back patio door, and there were some like boot prints in the mud in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Gary's bedroom door had been kicked in, and there was a boot print on that door as well.
Oh.
It was very clear that Gary had been stabbed, stuck, sliced on his head, shoulders, back, and a large gash like in the middle of his chest.
Okay.
An autopsy would later reveal that he was stabbed, slashed, and sliced 13 times. The large gash in his chest would show that his heart was actually sliced in half.
Oh my gosh.
And another wound would show that his liver was also perforated. So this thing went straight through and like cut these organs.
Oh my gosh.
And those were the causes of his death.
Okay.
So he may have survived like the slashings and the stabbings. After police speak with Brian, and Brian tells him this ninja story about who that attacked him, and like you can imagine what police are thinking. Like,
they're thinking ninjas are not real.
Right. Exactly. They're like, I don't know about this. I think pretty much Brian's lying. And so they even thought like he cut his own hand to try and like prove. Like, could you imagine, like, if you did that, you'd have to be someone that was in it to, like, slice a couple parts of your fingers off. Like,
that's commitment right there.
Yeah. So, anyway, however, not long after police arrived, other calls started to come in about a man dressed like a ninja running through the neighborhood.
Okay.
Neighbors, which was kind of funny because I had to rewind the show a couple of times because you know, like they have these two neighbors that were part of the people that called in, and they were like, there was a set of neighbors that were preparing to go on a trip, and they were loading the car, and they see this ninja run past him, and they're like, and then this guy Jeff, and he's like, all right, no, I wasn't looking at the time. I looked at him. I was like typing stuff down, and it said like, Jeff, did you see that? Because he just like he couldn't believe what he was seeing, and he wanted to make sure somebody else laid eyes on him, and then the other guy was like, yes, I did. And that's when I looked, and the name Jeff was on the screen, and I was like, because he was like, yeah, Jeff, I saw it. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? Jeff and Jeff, they were both Jeffs.
Oh, I was like, wait, what?
I'm so confused because I heard the one guy that I didn't see say, Jeff, did you see that? And then when I turned, that guy was like, Jeff, I did. Like, whatever.
Hi,
and I was like,
hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
So like rewound. I'm like, oh, both guys. Anyway, so,
okay.
Jeff and Jeff, we're going on a trip. And they see this ninja run past him. Anyway. Okay. So not long after this, and other calls are coming in from other people that are like, some guy like that's dressed all in black is running through the neighborhood carrying like a backpack and a big bag.
And a big samurai sword?
Basically. Well, so that was the thing is what I was confused about. I think he put it in this bag.
Okay.
So not long after this, the police tracked down this ninja about a mile away from Gary's home. When police arrest him, he has this like backpack on him, and inside the backpack were nunchucks, throwing stars, and this sword.
All right, who is this ninja?
Right. Are you kidding me? Like, legitimately, like, you've got a freaking backpack full. Anyway. Okay, so when they unmask him, it's Michael Jennings.
It's Magic Mike.
It's Magic Mike. Michael was known to carry this sword around with him in a bag, and he would tell people it was a pool cue. It was like...
Okay, what? He was known to carry around a samurai sword.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And... he was carrying around because it was like his most prized possession, and because he was a nomad, he didn't want anybody to steal it. So he would just bring it with him places.
Yeah, that's a red flag for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want somebody to couch surf with me who carries around a samurai sword.
Right, and apparently has all these other ninja
prized possession.
Ninja things in his bags. Anyway.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay.
So police bring him to the station. They question him about Gary, and he's like, we're really good friends. Like, he helped me when I hit rock bottom, so to speak. Like, why would I hurt him? Like, I wouldn't do anything to him. And so for 20 minutes,
so he's saying there's another ninja
out there with the same as sword stabbing people. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Plus, I'm thinking, like, there's got to be blood on that sword. He didn't have enough time.
Him.
Right. He didn't have enough time to, like, clean stuff up. That's not mentioned anywhere, I will say. But there has to be blood on it. So anyway, for like 20 minutes, he's talking about how he didn't have anything against anybody, no less Gary or Brian, because Brian was attacked too. And he's just like giving them false statements about where he was that morning. Well, but you were a mile away in a ninja costume. Like, where else could you have possibly been? Like, I would love to know the stories that he said. That's not stated anywhere.
Yeah.
When the police left the interrogation room, they're like watching him through the cameras, and he quickly puts his face in his hands and is crying. And then at one point looks up as if he's talking to God, and he's like, it's all my fault. So they're like, we got to push this guy
breaking down. Yep.
Yeah. So he would eventually admit to killing Gary. However, he says it was self-defense.
Oh, come on.
You walked into the man at 7 a.m.
Why were you wearing a ninja costume?
Right. Busted in the door. Busted in both doors.
Yes.
Like, anyway.
Kicked in the door, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
In self-defense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
When he was laying in bed? When Gary was laying in bed?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So here's the story. He states that he was convinced that Gary and Scott, the one that was out of town, were out to get him. He says the pair of them had murdered 2 other people and that he was going to be next. So he needed to take care of them before he took care of him.
Okay, why though? Why are they murdering people in his opinion?
I don't think he gave a reason. I did not see a reason anywhere, but it's like, does anybody even believe that based on like all the things that Gary / Brazon does for the community? Not. Like, no, he's not going around killing people.
No.
But he stood by his statement, was like, I had to stop them. And so, because they can't get away with killing all these people and then kill me.
He's trying to make himself be the savior. That is gross.
Yeah. So 2 years earlier, prior to this, he had been diagnosed of psychosis and paranoia. And so his lawyer that he eventually got was like, kind of like, let's go the death penalty. Not death penalty, like insanity.
Right.
Route, because clearly he's had a history of having mental illness and had to deal with that. So I think this is when that happened, but it wasn't really exactly stated when it happened, but I'm pretty sure this is probably the same timeline, but when he had that other diagnosis, because he had another incident where he believed that he was on a mission to spread peace. It's not a bad mission to be on. However.
Okay.
I
think he went about it the wrong way, maybe?
Well, yes. And this is a totally different incident than Gary.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. This is when I think he was diagnosed 2 years prior. Like, I think this is when this happened, and that's why he was diagnosed.
Okay.
He said that he had been visited by an archangel, and that this mission was given to him by this archangel. And so he was convinced that he had to become a member of the Columbus Crew soccer team, which I'm assuming is a professional soccer team in Columbus.
Okay.
And after the
angel told him this?
Yes. Well, I don't know if he told him all this specifically, or it was just like, this was what he thought he had to do to get on his mission of world peace.
Okay.
So after he got on the team, they would then go on to win the World Cup. And that is where he would be interviewed, and that's where he would begin to spread his message of world peace.
Okay.
And the soccer team did get a restraining order against him, because apparently he attempted to get on the team in the wrong ways, I'm assuming.
Wow, so, this poor guy, he needs help.
Yeah. So I think that's when he was diagnosed with this other stuff and probably did get some sort of help. And then now he's back and he's in the community with Gary and all his friends.
And maybe off his medication.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Because friends of Michael were like shocked that he committed this murder. They're like, he won't even eat, like, he's so sweet. He won't even eat meat because the animals were slaughtered. Like, we cannot see him committing this murder, like under, not a psychosis of some sort.
Okay.
Friends of Brazon Now, this is just what they state in interviews. It's not proven, but they feel that Michael blamed Gary for like not being gay, but like being perceived as gay because of like he got him in the show, he got him into this lifestyle and whatever, and that he killed him because he was like mad about this, enraged about it. Michael states that the killing was not motivated by his sexual orientation and just that it was self-defense. So we don't know one way or the other. He really
stuck to that story of that's what he believed all day long.
100%. In December of 2002, Michael was ruled to be incompetent to stand trial and was committed to a mental health facility in Ohio, and he was given court-ordered antipsychotic drugs. Finally, in February of 2005, he was ruled competent to stand trial. Mm-hmm. In May of 2005, even though he was admitting he killed Gary, he was going to plead guilty by reason of insanity. He would later waive his right to a jury trial and agreed to a 3-judge panel trial. Mm-hmm. His lawyers thought that the judges would be better able to understand the circumstances surrounding this case than just your average person that's walking down the street that would be on a jury. So in September 2005, he went to trial. He took the stand in his trial and once again gave the full-on story about Gary and Scott that were going to kill him and he's just protecting himself. But the judges still found him guilty of aggravated burglary, aggravated murder, and felonious assault for the attack on Brian, and sentenced him to 25 years to life.
Interesting.
He is due for a parole hearing in April of 2027.
Okay.
It's not that far away.
Right.
When I saw dates like that, I'd be like, yeah, it's so far away. It's like 3 years from now.
Yeah.
It's just so sad that the world and the LGBTQ community lost a man that at such a young age, because I think he was like 30 something.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how old he was actually.
Yeah. Well, so it was 2002. He was born in 66. So he's like 36. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because he was helping the community and he was so well loved. I mean, he even helped the man that killed him.
Yeah.
That would eventually kill him. Like,
right. Anyway, gave him a job, gave him a place to crash every now and then. Like,
yeah. Just a sad story.
So let me ask you this. It's so sad, yes. And it's like only the good die young. They say that for a reason. And he was doing so much good, Gary. Mm-hmm. Do you think the system got this right? By like giving him mental health treatment until he was competent to stand trial. But then saying he was not insane at the time of the murder?
I don't know. Honestly. Because clearly, like, if he was incompetent at that time, that was really quickly after it happened. Well, I mean, months after it happened.
There's a difference between being guilty by reason of insanity and being incompetent to stand trial. Those are not the same things.
Oh, yeah.
But they do seem a little contradictory to say he is competent to stand trial, but he wasn't competent back when the murder happened, but we didn't think he was insane. It is contradictory. Right. Even though they are different, it's a little bit gray.
Yeah.
I was just curious what you
thought about that. They clearly felt like he needed help, got him the help, and then tried him as if
he didn't need
help. So it is. It's
I agree.
I don't know that would have happened today, maybe. I don't know. I mean, 2005.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he would have bode well with the insanity plea before, or now. I don't know. It is interesting.
It is.
So, anyway.
Yeah, it's really interesting, but also extremely sad. And oh my gosh, that our listener lived in the neighborhood when this happened.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a really brutal, like she had a ninja in her neighborhood.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think he was not in his right mind.
Oh, I don't think so either. Based on how people said like what he was like, and that they were even shocked that he could commit this murder, like, and people probably got to know him pretty well if he was like living on couches for months at a time.
Right.
So Yeah, I don't think he was in his right mind. I mean, you dressed as a ninja and brought all of your ninja gear and killed a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And claimed that you were saving other people from a serial killer, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that being said, he still deserves to be punished in some form for this brutal attack. But I think he was not okay.
Right.
Okay. That's a really, really, really sad case.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good that you did it in June because it is real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there was one point where you were like, listen, we know this happens. Like, there are hecklers out there who just do mean things just to be mean. We have them. And we have like 1% of the, issues when it comes to like that kind of stuff. We're not in a marginalized community. We,
Right. I was going to say, and
they're out there.
It's freaking 2024, people.
Yeah.
Get over it. Live your life and let everybody else live theirs.
Exactly. We can all live cohesively and get along together and don't have to be involved in other people's business. Period.
Exactly. Period.
All right. Well, rest in peace to Gary. And I'm so sorry for that community that they lost such a pillar. Thank you for covering the case. I'm sure that was really sad. I'm sorry that you had to watch Jerry Springer.
Man.
And you're right. It like the fact that the show was called Tabloid and it was this is what happened. We're talking about mental illness and the LGBT, etc. community. Like
it's hard to say sometimes.
It is. Oh
LGBTQ, but there's also more to it now.
Yeah, plus etc.
Yeah.
But like the fact that that's disrespectful. Like
that's
that
the show that I had
to not
watch.
Be a thing. Yeah, that's not. No.
And I had to pay for it to watch it.
Ew, no.
But I wanted to...
It's not available anymore.
No, it's not available anymore.
Well,
it's not on anymore. I don't remember when this one was. I think it was like 2014 or something like that. So it's like it hasn't been a thing for a little bit, and I think there was only a couple seasons, thankfully. But like,
I'm surprised.
But I had to because I had to like just see if there was something else that was mentioned that I didn't know about, and
I'm really surprised I've never heard of this case, honestly.
I know. Well, that's because nobody else is doing it.
Right.
Dateline's not doing it, whatever.
Right.
And I'll say like Gary / Brazon's friends were in this, like they participated in this show. So I was glad that I got to see, some of those people and like hear what they had to say.
Yeah.
They're the ones that were saying like, this is what we think happened. Like why he did it.
Right.
Anyway.
Really sad case. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Kristen. That's who it was, right? For sending this in. Thank you guys for listening. Happy Monday. Happy Pride Month if you celebrate that. We appreciate all of you guys, and we'll be back next Monday with another case. Come find us on social media. Come find us on Patreon. There's a lot of fun stuff going on over there. We hope you're having a great summer, and we love you. And always remember, the world is scary. People suck. Hide in your closets.